Hello, you wonderful Rise of Kingdoms players out there. This is Dragothien here. Today we're going to be doing the battle card for Guan Yu and Harald. This is going to be one that's a little interesting because although they look very different graphically, they're not that different as far as their capabilities. So I do want to give you some key differences between the two of these. I've done a little bit of testing with friends who have him maxed already. I will also be maxing Harald when the time comes on my main account. And I've also got the 307 account that I will likely max Harald on. So I'm going to give you all the skinny once I really get myself maxed with Harald. But I've also got, again, friends that have been doing some testing for me, and I've started to kind of get what he's really all about. And it's kind of funny with the cab version, maybe William, I think, is a good comparison to Harald. Not the best at that particular troop type, but very good value where you use him at. So first off, Guan Yu versus Harald. Guan Yu, we've used him with Alex, Leonidas, Charles, Richard, Sun Tzu, YSG. All really good pairings. The damage is insane. The benefit, I think, that really Guan Yu brings to the table besides his damage is the silence that he gives on top of all that, and the damage reduction that he gives on top of all of it. The attack reduction, I should say. So let's go line by line. We'll start with damage and work our way down, and I'll explain each category on the way. So first off, damage. Let's see. I think we pretty much got this nailed down. Now, I gave Harald 2 check marks. The reason being, he's got that circular AoE. There's only one other commander besides Theodora, who's a garrison commander. From an open field perspective, there's really only one commander that's got the circular AoE, and that's YSG. And he is still one of, if not the best commander in the game from a damage perspective because of that reason. I mean, his normal AoE is not like mind-blowing. It's a 1700 AoE, which is great. But the fact that it's circular and the size that it is why YSG is so good. Harald has that same exact one. He's got the same exact size. Now it has a 3 target maximum instead of 5, so that's a difference, but very, very good. Guan Yu has a fan-shaped AoE, but I think there's more versatility, which is one of our categories, for Guan Yu in that regard versus Harald because of that AoE with the extra silence and the attack reduction and things like that with his other skill. So I'm going to give Harald the check mark on raw damage because he not only has the single target damage, which is a little lower on the lower end, but that's because you can proc probably 2 times within a turn cycle Harald's skill damage. It's kind of like Genghis, his expertise, proccing twice. Harald is almost guaranteed to proc his skill at least twice, if not maybe 3 times if you're lucky. And then if he's got AoE on, it's even better because, again, he's going to be proccing AoEs nonstop. He's going to basically be a fireworks display. So that's why I gave Harald a double check mark there. A little bit of a win on the edge there, but I think Guan Yu relatively has the same amount of raw damage from a nuke damage factor perspective. Harald has more attack bonuses, though. So, again, a little bit of an edge to Harald, I think. Survivability. I'm going to give it to Guan Yu. When I say survivability on these 2 guys, I use it very loosely, okay? This is not a survivable pairing. This is not a survivable commander on either side of the fence here. These guys are all about damage. The reason I gave survivability checkmark to Guan Yu is his expertise gives you a 100% march speed bonus for 3 seconds after you leave a structure. So if you're in the open field with Guan Alex and you're trying to do some damage and lo and behold, they see what you're doing and they come over and try and swarm you, just pop into a farm tile and then take off. You're gone. They can't catch you. So your survivability is definitely higher. Harald, on the other hand, he has a very just nominal 10% march speed bonus, but we're talking infantry here, guys. So infantry are not very speedy in general. You need something like 100% bonus that Guan gives you for that to really make sense. So Harald just does not have the survivability. You're going to throw him out there either in a rally or in the open field and just let him do his work. Like, he's not going to be one where you're going to maneuver him around as a shock troop style infantry. It's just not the way he's used. He's best used, park him somewhere and just cause a crap ton of damage and hopefully he's still alive by the end of it. That's kind of the way I'm seeing him being used in the open field. Now, versatility. I've got both of these guys getting some love. Now, the reason I have them both getting some love, Guan Yu, we just talked about it, the AoE silence. He's got the attack reduction as well, which is very, very nice. He can be used in both open field and rallies. Wouldn't really necessarily use him in a garrison situation, but it can be used. Harald, same idea. He can be used in all facets of the game. But again, he has that unique AoE, that circular AoE. That is nothing to be sneezed at, guys. Having the fan, right? It's good. But when you're talking a murder ball situation, you can be anywhere inside that murder ball and you're going to hit your targets. And when you're hitting massive amounts of targets with Harald, you're doing the right thing. That's exactly what he's made for. So I think that he's versatile in that way from a damage perspective. And again, he can be used in rallies with his second skill. He can be used in open field with most of his other skills. And then finally, again, he can actually be used in garrison to some effect, although he's not really made for that. But he can be used in that way. He does have some while on the map situation stuff, which would not apply in garrison. But he can be, it's damage. It's raw damage. So much damage. So much damage. All right, do you need to max these guys? Preferably, yes. Again, if you max them, they're going to be better, okay? However, you don't necessarily need to, and I'll try and move out of the way so you guys can read here. You don't need to max these guys. You can, if you're just using them for open field, you can just use them 5-1-5-5. Now, Harald has a really good counterattack expertise from 20% base all the way up to 40% if you're completely surrounded. That's pretty big. That's significant. That's a lot of damage. And then Guan, his expertise is the extra skill damage component when shielded and that 100% march speed bonus that I was telling you about, which makes him survivable. So you want to make sure that you eventually get there, but can you use them unmaxed? Yes, 5-1-5-5. Both of these guys can be used in that way, and you'll be in good shape as long as you're not rallying. Now, if you're rallying with these guys, you gotta max them, because both of those second skills for both of these guys are based on being in a rally. You need to be rally leader to have those skills take effect. And again, you want to make sure that you have him maxed out at that point, at least that second skill maxed out, because that is a very good skill for both commanders whenever you're doing a rally situation with these two commanders. And then finally, self or group. This category is this commander group beneficial, or is this commander really just about having a solid one army that you can trust to do what you need it to do? Is there group value? And to that, I say there's group value to both. Now, the reason I say that, and again, I'm leaning a little towards the so you guys can see, both of these say group. I promise they do. The reason I say they're both group, these guys are amazing in murder ball situations, and particularly Guan Yu. Maybe Guan Yu should have a group plus, just because he has the AoE silence. It's pretty significant, and attack reduction chance on, I think it's the fourth skill or the third skill, I can't remember. Harald, again, inherently is made to be in a murder ball. He's begging to be swarmed. He is begging to be swarmed. In fact, one of his best skills, his primary skill, triggers more damage when he's swarmed. So you want to be in a murder ball situation with Harald, which by definition is a group activity. You want to be inside of that murder ball just going crazy, going ham, and hopefully getting hit by a couple armies. And you can be on the front line taking those first couple hits, maybe throw him with a Richard, or I really think Leo Harald is going to be one of the better commander pairings for Harald, in my opinion. I know Guan Harald looks to be really good, and I think that's probably going to be very good, but it's going to be very squishy, right? The survivability we talked about. But Leo Harald, I think, will be survivable and pour out some damage with Harald. So something to think about. Other than that, this is the battle card, guys. So again, the reason for this video, and I'm gonna keep doing more of these videos as we get out of the KVKs that I was in 3 KVKs, so a lot of the content that I've been doing has been based on that. More of these battle cards are going to be coming out where you can choose which commander you want to go after. I've gotten a lot of folks asking me, hey, do I max Guan Yu, or do I max Harald, or do I work on Guan Yu, or do I work on Harald? Which one should I go after? Hopefully this battle card is giving you the detailed data you need to make that decision for yourself, because I can't tell you what kind of player you are. Only you know that. I can tell you what these commanders can do, and you can kind of figure out what you want to do from there. I think both of these commanders are really good, and if you've got the sculptures, you should get them at least 5-1-5-5 for open field. Or if you're a rallier and you want to have something a little different than Attila Takeda, which is still the best rally in the game, then max both of these guys out and you'll be very, very pleased. So, hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers. Have a good one. Take care.